So if you're considering relocating to Florida, and more specifically maybe the Tampa, St. Petersburg region, I'm gonna break down where I think the best opportunity for you is in this video. And by the way, my name's Leonberg and I run a local real estate team here in the Tampa area. So if we can help you out, buy or sell in any way, feel free to hit me up with the contact info below. All right, so let's start it off. This is biased because it's where we chose. We moved here about 4 years ago, and I felt at the time this was a really, really good spot and opportunity, and I think that has only grown, in my opinion, since I've lived here. I think that like if you are not here, you can kind of throw a dart on the board and you can take a stab. I think this area is the best area to generally target as a person, but I'm gonna break down those reasons why. But first off, like I want to say, I'm biased because I live in this area. All right, now getting into it, what is the magic area? And then I don't want to hone this in on one. We are in Lando Lakes, okay? That is the magic area. We're specifically in the Bexley community, but there's a lot of other really good spots around here, Trinity, Odessa, Lutz, even over in Wesley Chapel, New Tampa area. But I wanna specifically stay on this side because here's the thing. If you come out of Tampa, there's kind of two main highways that you can come up out of. It's the way I always explain it. There's I-75 and there's the Veterans or the Sun Coast, which is 589. So if you look on a Google map, if you're not from here, those are the two major highways that kind of come up out of Tampa. So 75 has kind of done a good, there's been a good amount of growth in New Tampa into Wesley Chapel, and it's still growing. Epperson and Murata are awesome lagoon communities over there. There's great spots. There's nothing wrong with it. It's really good. But in my opinion, the opportunity is on the other side. It's on 589 on Veterans Sun Coast. Here's the logic. So first and foremost, the airport is on that side. It's right off the Veterans and the Sun Coast where it meets 275. So, you know, for us, for example, we are right off of the Veterans on exit 19 in Lando Lakes. We can be in the airport in about 25 minutes. So what other relatively well-developed city that has beaches and Disney the other way, and there's sports, right? There's hockey and football and everything that you can be within about 25 minutes, about a half hour of the airport in a new developing, new construction community where there's, you know, a bunch of new restaurants and shops going up consistently. It's really hard to find that in a lot of, you know, cities we looked in, and even 4 or 5 years ago. So I think just that the proximity to the airport is a super, super big one, especially if you are, you know, if you're relocating here from, you know, I know a lot of people that come from at least the Northeast where we're from, they can travel for work or they have to travel for work a lot. So being close to the airport might be a big one. When we looked over in Wesley Chapel, we had that 45 minutes or an hour drive sometimes to the airport. It depends on, you know, where at. Probably more in the 45-minute range, but that difference was why I felt this was definitely a sweet spot, and I was shocked that there's so much available to kind of be built here, and it hasn't blown up in the past yet. Another one is the Moffitt Cancer Center that's going in right north of this exit. So there's a new exit that has been put in on the Veterans, the Ridge Road extension exit that's right above Bexley. And there's a community named Angeline that's going in with a school. So currently I think it's gonna be a 6 through 12 school, but there's some other stuff going in. It's blowing up, but Moffitt Cancer Center is gonna bring 14,000 jobs to the area. So there's still growth happening in this area. And again, right there, yeah, it might be a slight bit north than the exit I'm off of, but you're still within about a half hour to the airport. So you can see there's development in this community. I mean, I think 5-10 years in this area is a really, really smart investment. I don't really think you can go too wrong because again, proximity to the airport, it's blowing up. You have 14,000 jobs coming in. It's a really, really good spot. But one other thing to consider is the proximity. It's not the very, very closest, you know, you're not steps away from the beach, or you're not right next to the theme parks in Orlando, or you know, you're not right downtown Tampa, or right in the, you know, maybe like the Crystal Springs of like Weeki Wachee and stuff like that, or the nature, you know, kind of aspect of Florida. But you're in very drivable distance to everything that I just mentioned. You know, where we're at here, we're in Tampa in about a half hour, sometimes 45 minutes with traffic. I mean, we've come home from a Tampa Bay Lightning game in half an hour, and from going to the Bucs Stadium, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, seeing a concert there, we're home in under half an hour. We've been before. You know, the beaches, 45 minutes to an hour. We can be up, you know, Weeki Wachee, do the springs, do some kayaking, some nature stuff, Crystal River, all that stuff in, you know, 45 minutes or so, half an hour there. You can go directly over to Tarpon Springs from here, and we used to actually be a part of the Freedom Boat Club, which I have a video where I broke that down. But we could be out, you know, we could be on the boat in a half an hour and going out into the Gulf of Mexico, Anclote Island, beautiful there. And then, just to add another thing, you're about an hour and a half from Disney without traffic, but about an hour and a half from Disney and half hour from Busch Gardens. So I mean, you just have everything in proximity. I think, you know, and being that close to the airport, I think it's such a hub. I think this is a great spot to look at. But one of the final reasons why I think it might be a good deal, especially if you're somebody watching this video video that's looking to move to the area and you are from somewhere else, this is where majority of the people who have relocated, I feel, are. So a lot of the people we've met, and even in our plan here in Bexley, are from the Northeast, from New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Chicago, different areas. A lot of people we've met here have relocated. So it's I'd say in Florida in general, I think they say 50% of people are transplants, but I feel like in our community, it's like 75%. So you might be more likely to find people who are used to what you're used to. I know it worked that way for us. So ultimately, this is definitely a heavy bias, but that's why we're biased. We felt it was the best spot to choose when we had the ability to throw a dart at the board when we moved here. So I hope that was helpful to you. I hope that gave you some clarity. If I could help you consider in any way, making a move to Tampa, make sure to hit us up at the contact info below. We do run a local real estate team here. Obviously, we'd just be happy to give you any clarity though on the area and maybe help you in your decision. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you around.